This is our seventh day in Europe and our second day in Italy. Today, we are bound for Venice. It is approximately 3 hours travel from Hotel Cruz. Since matagal ang biyahe namin, nag-breakfast na kami ng 6 in the morning. I love the latte macchiato coffee. And siyempre, the bacon, a combi that makes my day. While waiting for our things to get on the bus, eto, nagpa-fan shooting muna kami para naman may souvenir of our stay here in this hotel. Last night kasi, we were extremely drained sa whole day activities namin. No time for this. Kaya nagpahinga na lang kami. We're leaving the hotel and it's 8:20 in the morning. Sa Pinas, it's already 2:20 in the afternoon. 6 hours ahead ang Pinas sa Italy. Summer na ang dating dito. Maaga pa lang, grabe ng sikat ng araw. Ang ganda ng surroundings. It's refreshing to the eyes because of the greeneries. But as we go along, wala pa rin kami nakikita na matataas na building. Katulad din sa France and Switzerland, mga medium rise lamang ang mga structures dito. After 2 hours of traveling, puminto kami dito sa Chef Express for about 15 minutes to whiz, to stretch our muscles and joints, and to buy something to eat. Itong restaurant ay isang bar, fast food and cafe service provider in train stations, airports, and highways. This branch is located in San Giacomo Sud 4, Risato, Italy, which is halfway pa to Venice. From here, tumaan din kami sa boundaries ng Verona, Padua, and Vicenza. These are three beautiful cities in the Veneto region of Italy out of the 20. Verona was the film setting of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Padua City is the seat of the oldest university in Italy, where scientists Galileo Galilei and Nicolaus Copernicus studied as scholars. And Vicenza City is popularly known for its Palladian villas. We are now entering Venice from the mainland, passing the Ponte della Libertad Road. Ang daan na ito ay isang tulay na may haba na 3.8 kilometers. It takes 35 minutes to travel on this bridge, and this is the only route leading to and from the center of Venice. This was built in 1931 and designed by Eugenio Miosi. This road is also co-located with the Ponte Vecchio, a railway system that provides transport services to commuters going to and from the city. Venice is not a mainland or a single island. It is a dispersed geographical city built on a group of 126 islands that are separated by expanses of open water and by canals. Portions of the city are linked by 472 bridges. This is also the city with no cars, buses, or bikes, only boats and pedestrians. However, this port, located in Troncheto, an artificial island built on the Venetian lagoon in 1960s, provides parking spaces for tourist cars and buses. From the port, we are now heading to the city center of Venice by ferry boat. It takes us roughly 30 minutes to cruise the Giudecca Canal, a canal which is 4 kilometers long, 244 to 450 meters wide, and 12 meters deep. This ferry, called Favoreto among the locals, is a water bus being used to transport tourists to the different islands, especially to San Marco, the center where famous landmarks and attractions are located. Kahit ganito lang ang itsura nitong lancha, okay naman kasi hindi amoy crudo. Kaya we choose the elevated deck kasi open air dito. And this is favorable for me. 1, not to vomit. Magalaw kasi itong lancha. And 2, magandang pwesto ito to take shots of the views while cruising the lagoon. So amazing lang ang mga brick color of structures they have. Unique and distinct. Identity talaga ito ng Venice. Nandito na kami sa San Marco, which is one of the districts of Venice. Dito pa lang sa alley na ito, may indication ng booming ang ekonomiya ng Venice. But what is interesting about the place is its tidiness and cleanliness. Despite the influx of tourists in the district and the business stalls and carts everywhere, wala lang man kami makita kalat ng basura. Kahit foul smell ng canals at walang peddlers or hawkers around. Based on records, approximately 20 million tourists visit the city annually, and it generates 3 billion euros in terms of revenues from tourism. That is equivalent to 183 billion in Philippine currency. Venice has a population of 55,000 inhabitants on the historical island and 258,685 in the entire commune of Venezia. Its per capita income is 33,500 euros, an indication that its residents enjoy a significantly better quality of life. At hindi ito magtatuwa kasi nakikita naman namin ito ngayon dito. It's evidential. While waiting for the guide to signal that we are ready to tour around, eto, standby muna kami dito. We only ordered some refreshments because it's not practical to order a meal. It might not arrive on time due to the overwhelming number of customers. I opted for the gelato. I really didn't pass up the chance because I want to compare this to the one I tasted in Switzerland. Well, as I have said, mas masarap pa rin ang sundae ng Jollibee. Finally, natupad din ang pangarap.
Ayoko talaga niyan. With a Coke, no. No way. No way. Oh.
Strategic itong pwesto namin dito. Aside from so refreshing ang hangin that comes from the Venetian lagoon, we can also see here the famous attractions of the city. This is the San Marcos Square. It is one of the most beautiful plazas in the world. Napoleon called it the world's most beautiful drawing room because it is surrounded by magnificent landmarks with impressive narratives. It measures 590 feet long and 230 feet wide. Katulad lang nitong Correr Museum. It is a landmark that offers a fascinating insights into the art and history of Venice. It was built in 1830 by Teodoro Correr. Behind me is the famous Palazzo Ducale. This is the highlight of our visit here in Venice. Hindi pa kami makakapasok dito at the moment kasi our tour guide still fixing something for our entry dito sa palace. Then we have the St. Mark's Basilica, the church that houses the relics of St. Mark the Evangelist. This is the western facade of the church. It has arched portals surrounded by polychrome marble columns. The upper level features mosaics depicting the life of Christ and the Last Judgment. This is the north facade, which is known as the Porta dei Fiori, or the Door of Flowers, a 13th century relief of the Nativity. We can also see around here is the Campanile, or the Bell Tower, which was originally built in the 19th century during the reign of Doge Pietro Tribuno, to serve as a watchtower to protect the city from invaders and to also guide Venetian ships to safely dock on the harbor. It is the tallest structure in Venice, standing at a height of 323 feet. Another significant attraction pa dito is the Torre dell'Orologio. It was built to house a sophisticated clock which was considered the most advanced chronological device of its time, and to show the ingenuity of the Venetian clockmakers Gianpaolo and Giancarlo Raineri. Ngayon, we are getting inside the Palazzo Ducale. There is a long line here outside of the entrance gate. Due to the volume of visitors entering the palace, waiting areas are provided so that tourists who come in groups will be able to gather here. As we approach the entrance door leading to the different rooms of the palace, dumaan muna kami sa validation area for our entrance tickets. The ticket costs 25 euros, or equivalent to about 1,500 pesos. This is already included in the tour package. Pagpasok namin, we can already see the well-preserved Roman Corinthian columns. I believe they did this as part of the interior design of the palace. Maliit lang itong area na ito. At dito din ang security check nila na hindi basta-basta. Very meticulous sila. Pati shoes, belts, and watches pinapatanggal kahit may detector machine pa. Mabuti lang aircon dito. Ang laki nitong palasyo. It's obvious na ginawa nga talaga ito noong unang panahon. From the floorings, veranda to the ceilings. At bungad pa lang mga ito. As we go up the stairs, kahit ang dami nito, naibsan ang pagod namin when we already saw the paintings on the ceilings and the walls. It's so mesmerizing at nakakataas ng adrenaline talaga. This is the Escalo de Oro. This was built by Jacopo Sansovino between 1554 to 1558. The stucco work was done by Alessandro Vittoria. Now we're entering the Chamber of the Four Doors, also known as the Sala del Quattroporte. This is a large rectangular hall that serves as a passageway into the room where Venice's most powerful political bodies used to meet. The halls of the Senate, Colegio, and the Council of Ten. The coffered ceiling, adorned with stucco decoration, was crafted by Giovanni Cambi. Notable features include Doge Antonio Crimani in Adoration Before the Faith by Tiziano, and Arrival of King Henry III by Andrea Vicentino. This is the college chamber, also known as the Sala del Colegio. This was designed by Andrea Palladio and Giovan Antonio Rosconi, and built by Antonio da Ponte. The chamber was used by the full college, a political body elected by the Senate to handle foreign affairs, to manage Venice mainland possessions, and to deal with maritime issues. This chamber also served as the waiting area for foreign ambassadors and delegations who were to be received by the full college. This room is small, but everything in here is magnificent. The wooden door was uniquely crafted and the marble door was finely chiseled. Hindi ko lubos maisip how brilliant the artists were and how their imagination incredibly worked that way. Ang pino at walang kapintasan ang trabaho nila. Ito naman ay ang council chamber. It was purposely used for the councilors to assist the members of the Senate. The chamber was designed by Andrea Palladio. The decor on the ceiling was done by Francesco Bellio and Andrea da Faenza. The other paintings around here are by Tintoretto, portraying the Duchess with the Christ, the Virgin, and the saints. Ngayon we're entering the Senate Session Hall. This is one of the oldest public institutions in Venice, founded in the 13th century. This hall was engineered to accommodate up to 200 members of the Senate and the Sonta. The decor around the room was done by Da Ponte and designed by Palladio and Rosconi with the frescoes of methodological subjects and of the cities and regions of Venetia. The monumental ceiling, made in the forerunner style of Baroque, was done by Cristoforo Sorte. Ito naman ay ang Chamber of the Council of Ten. The decor on the ceiling was done by Gian Battista Poncino with Veronesi and Gian Battista Celotti. The ceiling with 25 compartments are decorated with images of divinities and allegories to illustrate the power of the Council of Ten. Its members were chosen by the Senate and elected by the Great Council. Noong unang panahon, it was a tribunal that had the power to punish the guilty and free the innocent. Ito naman is the Compass Room, also known as the Sala della Bussola. It is an antechamber where those who have been summoned would be called by the magistrates. This room was dedicated to the administration of justice. The decor on the ceiling was made by Veronese to underline the solemnity of the Republic's legal machinery dates back to the 16th century. And this room is known as the Chamber of Quarantia Civil Vecchia, or the Chamber of the Council of 40. This was established by the Great Council at the end of the 12th century and served as the highest appeal court in the Republic. The paintings hanging in the room date from the 17th century. The walls decorated with a large format 17th century oil painting by Andrea Celesti, and the central panel displays the last Senate of the Republic of Venice by Vittorio Pressanin. Ito naman is the chamber of the Great Council. It is the most majestic chamber in the palace. It was decorated with a fresco by Guariento. Other famous artists who also contributed to the amazing arts were Veronese, Jacopo, Domenico Tintoretto, and Palma il Giovanni. The walls were decorated with episodes of the Venetian history, while the ceiling was decorated with virtues and individual examples of Venetian heroism, and a central panel containing an allegorical glorification of the Republic. The longest canvas in the world, the Paraiso by Jacopo Tintoretto, is found here. This chamber measures 53 meters long and 25 meters wide. This is the biggest chamber in Europe. The 1,200 to 2,000 noblemen who sat in the council were considered guardians of the laws that were basis of all the other authorities within the state during those times. We are now entering the Quadreria, also known as the Picture Gallery. The fundamental paintings here tell a story about the life of the Serenissima Republic from 697 to 1797. During those years, Serenissima was a term used to refer to Venice as a republic. This republic was centered on the lagoon communities and had overseas possessions in what are now Croatia, Slovenia, Montenegro, Greece, Albania, and Cyprus. The paintings displayed here include that of Carpaccius, Leone, Marciano, and Dante, Giambattista Tibullus, Venice to receive gifts from the sea from Neptune, and Giovanni's Bellini's Pieta. The gallery also features works from Flemish artists such as Quentin Medzi's magnificent Cristo de Riso or Inferno by Henri Met de Blaise. The gallery was designed by world-renowned architect Pierluigi Pizzi. Ito naman is the corridor leading to the Bridge of Sighs, which was built in 1614 to connect the Doge Palace to the prison cells. This was designed by Antonio Contino. Made of limestone in Baroque style, it measures 11 meters. It crosses over the Rio de Palazzo. The bridge contains two separate corridors that run next to each other. One corridor links the prison to the chamber of Magistrato agli Leghi and the Quarantia Criminal, and the other corridor links the prison to the state advocacy rooms and the parlatorio. Both corridors are connected to the service staircase that leads from the ground floor cells of the Pozzi to the roof cells of the Piombi. This is the chamber of the Magistrato. It was created in 1553 and headed by the three of the city's patricians, who were responsible in ensuring that the regulations concerning the practice of laws were observed. This chamber was part of the government and judiciary functions of the Republic, while the Quarantia Criminal was a judicial body that had jurisdiction over the misdemeanors and felonies. Three leaders sat with the Dutch and the Minor Council in the Serenissima Signoria, the supreme representative body of the Republic. They were responsible for enforcing the death penalty on the criminals. After an hour or so, natapos din ang aming pag-ikot dito sa loob ng Palazzo Ducale. It was such a wonderful experience as we got to see some of the most amazing arts painted on walls and ceilings, done in sophisticated ways and in different medium. Ngayon, andito naman kami sa isang factory that produces the priciest work of glass arts in the world, the Vecchia Murano Glass Factory. This is the last of the attractions we're going to see here in Venice. This factory is located just behind the popular Bridge of Sighs. Ang glassmaking here in Venice is a form of art. In our mind, it is not an easy job. The procedure seems to be complicated and sophisticated kasi bago maging finished product ang isang glass art, ito'y dumadaan sa matinding temperatura ng apoy. But for this guy, it is just a piece of cake. No sweat. It only takes skills and brain para sa ganitong trabaho. So we ended our day's activities here. At exactly 5:43 p.m., umalis na kami dito sa Venice, bound for our hotel in Bologna. It will take us around 1 hour and 30 minutes to reach there. Mataas pa rin ang sikat ng araw sa oras na ito, kaya we still enjoy the views around here as we go along. At nagkaroon kami ng pagkakataon dumaan sa boundary ng City of Ferrara, ang lungsod known as the City of Renaissance and its Po Delta. After an hour, dumaan muna kami dito sa Autogrill, to whiz, and to buy our food for the night. Malayo kasi ang hotel sa Kabiasnan. Sa sobrang pagod namin today, hindi na namin kaya umikot. At saka, may lakad pa kami bukas sa City of Pisa. Ngayon, andito na kami sa Bologna. Isa ito sa mga lungsod ng Italy. Our hotel is located just near the airport. No wonder pala it's called Fly-On Hotel. Maganda ang labas at loob nito. It's elegant, clean, and tidy. Maganda din ang architectural design at ang color combination. At napaka-greeny ang surroundings. Dahil malamig pa din ang panahon dito, so refreshing tignan ang mga puno at mga ibang halaman dito. Cozy din ang kwarto nila. Malinis, spacious, and fragrant. At dito ko rin, for the first time, nakakita ng bidet na toilet bowl ang itsura. Unfortunately, I didn't try it because of my ignoramus. Ayan, that's how our day was today. Full of learnings and of insights. But there's one thing that comes to my mind for reflection. Kahit anong lugar pa pala, kahit anong itsura pa nito, o kahit anong klaseng kalupaan pa nito, may sarili itong pagkakakilanlan. May sarili itong katangi-tangi at pagiging natatangi. Katulad lang ng Venice, sino ba ang mag-aakala na being a dispersed island city with roads only for pedestrians, not for motor vehicles, with ground only for brick structures, not for vegetation, can still draw 20 million visitors annually. A factor that steers economic activities and brings in millions of euros to the city. Kaya, it is not really duplicating what others have done or are doing, but it is a matter of maximizing the gift of nature bestowed upon the place, using most of its potentials, and taking care of it as steward of the resources, not only for this generation, but also for the next generations to come.